I think some of the most spiritual experiences were the people who might have been the hardest, the investigators who were the hardest. I can remember in my last area, I'd been out on a mission for some time, and at the end of your mission, you love what you do, but you also feel tired. You've had these 2 years or these 18 months that have kind of been weighing on you, and you start to feel it. And it's easy to kind of get discouraged, even though you had the experience and the insight at that point to know that it'll all work out. I was kind of feeling tired, and we had this great family, and we just had to work with them, and it was every day. It was back and forth. It was explaining things over and over and again. And it was such a spiritual experience for me, because I think in that moment I could kind of see how the Lord, how our Heavenly Father, how the Spirit is with us. How many times do they have to come back to us and explain something and work with us daily? And so I kind of gained that appreciation, and also taught me, how can I be easier? How can I be more teachable? How can I be easier to deal with? And that family, they're baptized. They're active in the church today. And so that hard work, it paid off. And I can also see how the hard work in my own life will pay off. And it really was just a wonderful spiritual experience. That one was extremely spiritual for me, because it wasn't just a one-time event. It was over a course of a time. It was a spiritual event. Another spiritual experience that stands out to me again was a person who was difficult. She raked us over the coals a few times when we were teaching her. You kind of had to be pretty thick-skinned to be around her, because she was going to take you to town on some things. And I remember one day we were there teaching her, and my companion and I, we just knew we had to challenge her to read the Book of Mormon, that if she'd read it, she'd know it was true. And this is a woman who she was not accepting of anything. She really just didn't want it. But we knew there was a reason that we were in her house. And in probably one of the most spiritual moments I've ever been in, her and her daughters were there, and we started testifying about the Book of Mormon. And we talked about how the Book of Mormon can help us know whether we can have an eternal family. And they all broke out in tears, and we were in tears. And we challenged her directly and quite strongly, if you read the Book of Mormon, you'll know it's true. And so she said she would. And we went back a day or two later, and guess what? She had read the Book of Mormon, and she knew it was true. And that was one of those moments when I really felt that the Spirit in those moments is who's teaching, and it really was such a great testimony builder.